In the heart of Mexico City, the year 1612 unfolds with a grim intensity as the sun beats down mercilessly on the cobblestone streets. The air is thick with tension and the whispers of rebellion, a simmering pot ready to boil over. In the main square, a somber assembly has gathered, not for a festival or a celebration, but for a public execution. 35 African and Afro-descendant people, including 7 women, stand accused of conspiring against the vice-regal order. The authorities have sent a clear message: dissent will not be tolerated, and the cost of defiance is death. The roots of this conflict stretch back to 1609, when the Spanish government launched a brutal campaign against the slave liberation movement, led by the formidable Gaspar Yanga. Yanga, a former slave, had established a free and autonomous African community in the sugar-producing region of Veracruz. The Spanish, fearing that Yanga's success might inspire a wider uprising, moved swiftly to crush any sign of resistance. By 1612, the fear of a widespread revolt had only intensified, and the authorities were determined to snuff out any spark of rebellion. The spark that ignited the conflict began with the death of an Afro-descendant woman. She had been beaten to death by her master, and her funeral became a catalyst for change. The Brotherhood of Blacks from the convent of La Merced, a group of 15 members, took to the streets in protest. They marched in front of the Viceroy's palace, their voices raised in anger and grief, and began to plan a rebellion for Holy Thursday. The authorities, caught off guard by the audacity of the protest, declared a state of emergency. Militias were mobilized, Holy Week ceremonies were suspended, churches were closed, and mass arrests were carried out. The Afro-descendant population, both enslaved and free, found themselves under unprecedented restrictions, owning weapons and hanging out in groups of more than 3, and women wearing luxurious clothes were all prohibited. The repression was particularly focused on the brotherhoods, which were dissolved under the guise of Catholic religious associations. These societies, where women played a crucial role in preserving ancestral memory and customs, were seen as a threat to the vice-regal government. Traditional medicine, funerary practices with songs and dances, and other cultural expressions were labeled as barbaric and idolatrous. The authorities sought to erase the very essence of African culture, but they underestimated the resilience of the people they sought to silence. Following the mass execution, a profound act of defiance took place. A large group of Afro-descendant women rushed to the bodies of the condemned, delicately shrouding them in cloth. This act of dignifying death, mourning it, and honoring the memory of their loved ones became an act of collective resistance and unity. The authorities may have taken their lives, but they could not uproot the seed that African culture had sown in non-Hispanic society, a legacy that remains relevant to this day, a testament to the indomitable spirit of a people who refused to be broken. Despite high slavery rates, Mexico's free Black population had already outnumbered the enslaved. By 1600, Creoles and mulattoes were noticeable in Mexico, with many enslaved Africans from Angola. These Africans reconfigured their culture in colonial Mexico, complementing the existing presence of Creoles and contributing to the rich tapestry of Mexican society I Won. The history of Afro-Mexicans is a tale of resilience and cultural preservation. Despite the harsh conditions imposed by the Spanish colonizers, Africans brought to Mexico managed to retain many of their cultural practices and traditions. These practices, passed down through generations, have left an indelible mark on Mexican culture. From the rhythms of Afro-Mexican music to the flavors of Afro-Mexican cuisine, the influence of African heritage is woven into the fabric of Mexico's. The legacy of Afro-Mexicans is not just a footnote in history. It is a vibrant and living culture that continues to shape Mexico's present and future. Despite centuries of discrimination and erasure, Afro-Mexicans have maintained their cultural identity and passed it down to their descendants. Today, efforts are being made to recognize and celebrate this rich heritage. Acknowledging Afro-Mexicans in Mexico's history is long overdue. As the sun sets in Mexico City, the echoes of the executed haunt the streets. The authorities may have won a battle, but the war for cultural survival rages on. The Afro-descendant women, with their acts of defiance and remembrance, have ensured that the spirit of their people will never be extinguished. Their story is one of courage, resilience, and an unbreakable bond with their ancestral roots. A story that continues to inspire and captivate to this day.
La noche se hace día y no sé quién